Hi everyone. Have you heard about the Christian movie titled Love Bait? The movie is an emotional and inspirational one that tackles majorly the dangers of emotional decisions and societal pressure in marriage. Single brothers and sisters, you need to see this movie. The play opens with Imisi on her bed early in the morning. Wow, it was Imisi's 28th birthday. She is a teenagers coordinator in a church and she was celebrating a birthday milestone, obviously. She was still single and searching until her head fell to injury. That age happens to be the same age her mother gave birth to her elder brother. But how is that a problem? Why should that be a reason to demand our only daughter be married already? That's on the part of the mother. Sure, some people get married in their early 20s, but many others tie the knot in their late 20s or even 30s. And that's okay. Our mom, played by Madam Salako Adetamola, hilariously hails her as our mommy, a royal princess. The queen is born, leaving her friends in stitches. You know the way mothers can be when you're supposed to be in your husband's house and you're still at home. They try to frustrate you and look for every means to make sure that you leave the house. But what's behind the friends' amused and her mother's mocking laughter? Why pressurize your son or daughters into marriage just because your friends' children are getting married? I understand you're a loving parent who wants the best for your child, but forcing them to marry just to meet up with others can push them into something they are not ready for. That's exactly what happened to Imisi Oluwa. After constant pressure from her mother, she became so frustrated that she let her emotions lead her into a relationship with a man who only pretended to be responsible and God-fearing. Yes, she prayed. But by then, her mother's frustration and her own emotional vulnerability had clouded her judgment. Emotion is fickle, very fickle. You can afford to make fundamental decisions based on your emotions. If you do so, you will lose direction and run into many errors. These were the words of Missy Oluwa to one of her teenage mentees who had confided in her after making a costly mistake. Ironically, it seems like that message wasn't just for the mentee, it was also a divine caution for Auntie Imisi herself at that time. But often we see ourselves merely as messengers, forgetting that the message might be meant for us too. I'm still wondering and honestly a bit confused. Who exactly set the societal standard that says a woman must be married before a certain age? Who decided that if a lady isn't married in her 20s, then she's already late and she'll become desperate to find a life partner? Emotion is fickle, very fickle. She said to herself, yet she fell victim to it, pressured and misled into a wrong decision. In the end, she was treated like trash in her marriage, disrespected by a husband who repeatedly violated the sanctity of their union. So who is to blame? Is it the mother who pressured her daughter just to stay in the same social league as her peers? Or is it Missy herself who out of desperation let her emotions deceive her into choosing the wrong person? Maybe both are at fault. Yes, both. Mama J, that's the mother of Imisi, was the weapon fashioned against Imisi, yes. Mama J's constant pressure on Imisi to marry pushed her into having a relationship with Fega and eventually married to him. When this turned sour in Imisi's marriage, she turned to blame her. Imisi married a prayer point instead of a prayer partner. So sad. She said she had a yes from God about Tega's marriage proposal. But little did she know that Tega had only become an idol in her heart and she had had years, that years, from her emotions. Tega wanted to marry a church girl, learnt the act of pretending through his friend. Evil communication, they say, corrupt good manners. Tega only needed to pretend to be a Christian with the endorsement of the church pastor whose conscience and integrity has been bought with monetary donations. This made the pastor vouch for him and Imisi agreed. However, a few months or a year after marriage, Tega couldn't pretend anymore. When Pokey, his girlfriend, came visiting their home, Tega snapped and confessed to Imisi that she didn't like her fate. He only needed a good woman who could pray for him like his mother. But little did he know, he had become stuck. Every time Tega leads us in prayer, he fired at his wife and tired. Hence, Tega became a prayer point, and Imisi spent over 2 years praying for the salvation of her husband's soul. Madam Anu Kolade brings the scene in Love Bates to life. That's the person that acted the part of Imisi. She echoed a similar moment from War Room where Priscilla rebukes the devil. A powerful delivery makes you feel a disgust towards the devil's infiltration and deception. Notice the similarities between the two movies. A prayer closet, that's Mrs. Sacred place where she prayed about her husband every now and then with sticky notes on the wall, where she prayed and asked God to save her unsaved husband. Tega was a stunning wife like Imisi, goes clubbing and dances with another man's girlfriend, essentially daring God right in front of his wife before he left the house. He faces the consequences, getting into a fight and nearly got beaten or was beaten up. Imisi gets a call to come get him, and surprisingly, she doesn't scold him. That's the love of God. Instead, she shows him kindness, slowly correcting him with her good deeds, challenging God as its prize. You should see a prayer closet. It gives me a war room vibe. God has the power to change people, not men. Prayer sure changes situations. It brought Tega to Bended News. And a lesson for moms, actually. Give your kids some space and stop with the "when are you getting married" lectures. Hey, if you have not seen the movie, please rush now to watch Love Bait on a Refix film, where it definitely has a lot of lessons to be learned. But please, before you go, kindly subscribe to my channel, like, share, and click on the notification bell so that you will be notified whenever I post another video. Alright, till I come your way next time, be good and bye for now.
A queen is born! Happy birthday, baby.
What is happy about a single 28-year-old's birthday?
You, Gary, must settle down. Gary, gas, calm down. Gary.
When I marry, I won't marry. I don't keep this.
So does this guy I met in church?
Girl, he fine.
It's not like good men are hawked on the street of Lagos.
You need to position yourself for visibility.
Your beauty is what the Bible describes as a seal of perfection, full of wisdom, perfect in beauty.
Isn't that how Prophet Ezekiel described Lucifer in the Bible?
Oh, because I said I want to become a grandmother first. Do you think you can disgrace me?
There are no restrictions in my heart towards saying a yes to you.
Imisi, you did what?
Imisiolu, have you prayed to God about this thing?
Hope no be say you don't go give church girl belle.
I am a bona fide child of God.
Anu Eshemi, do you even realize how selfish you sound right now? Come back here! Teenager, no fair friend, no sugar mommy.
Please bless the food. Plus Jesus minus Satan.
As devil see you begin to learn work, he just look you, he won't resign.
Lead the prayers.
1 second.
Hey,
God is never